Backstory. My husband and I met at a get-together hosted by my best friend. We started up a conversation, and I realized that we have so much in common, and the same sense of humor, which is a major thing for me. Can't be fake laughing or with someone who doesn't get my humor. We started dating after 3 months of talking and getting to know each other. We've been together for 3 years, engaged for 6 months, and now we are married. His sister, female 30, never really warmed up to me. She always had this notion that I'm stealing her best friend, brother, away from her. Husband would always come to sister-in-law's rescue whenever she was in trouble and enable some of her behaviors, which he sees now. His parents and other siblings and I get along so well. So my husband, male 28, has 3 other siblings. Sister-in-law is not really close with her other siblings due to a fallout, where husband took sister-in-law's side. A story for another day, but husband is now regretting doing so. Sister-in-law is married to Kay, male 34, and they have 2 kids, and she's currently 6 months pregnant with twins. Fast forward to the wedding day. Everything went well, no objections were made. Then we got to the reception. I guess that's when my sister-in-law thought it would be a great time to announce that she's expecting twins and turn my wedding into a gender reveal. Okay. Mind you, she didn't even discuss this with me or my husband. She's walking around giving people these cute little party pack boxes. Everyone is confused. Her parents are turning red in the face. I decide to ignore it. Sister-in-law goes up on the stage, takes the mic, and lets people know what the party packs are for. And she's going to count down, then people can open them to reveal the gender. I'm guessing their reactions weren't what she was hoping for, cause 5 minutes after opening the boxes, people were still clearly shocked at her audacity and didn't react. She turned to look at me and my husband and asks, "Well, what do you guys think? Isn't it exciting? I thought it would be a great wedding present for you guys." Excuse me? Husband went to talk to her, and I just ignored her, because I could not find it into me to be bothered. Later in the night, at 23:30, we get a call from sister-in-law's husband, berating my husband about letting me ignore my sister-in-law's announcement and not appearing excited. Apparently, sister-in-law's been crying since they got back, going on about how not only did I take her brother, best friend, from her, but I also ruined this day for her, as it was a way of her showing me that she accepts me into the family. What? Am I the a-hole for ignoring my sister-in-law? Not the a-hole. Your sister-in-law, however, self-centered, and tried to piss on your parade. Unfortunately, she did it against the wind. You acted classy, way more classy than a majority of the people would have. And I'm guessing this will further help your hubby to stop enabling his sister, and maybe go low contact. Not the a-hole. She wanted you to react because either way she would have won. Either you'd be forced to make the day about her, or your husband would be forced to rush to her aid if you got mad, and she'd be able to play the victim. By not reacting, you took all her power away, and she was left looking like a jerk. Seeing as sister-in-law decided to turn your reception into her gender reveal party, kindly present her with a bill for 50% of the reception costs. Just kidding. That won't help. Instead, keep enforcing boundaries and go low contact with her and her entitled husband. Not the a-hole. I'm a 42-year-old female. I have 3 kids, 18, 15, and 13. I share with my husband, 46. My husband and I have been together for 20 years and married for 16. He has a daughter from a previous relationship, 22. We each have our own personal accounts, but we do share a joint account. Our household rules for our teenagers wanting to obtain a vehicle is that they have to have a job or be in school. We've just obtained our oldest a vehicle. My stepdaughter Allison came to us after finding out our oldest now has a vehicle. She goes on about how it's hard to get around. I simply ignore her pleas, and I have my reasons. My husband and Allison's mother have her spoiled, which has made my relationship strained with her. Obviously, she'd been talking to my husband about wanting a car, but he hadn't mentioned any of it to me because he knew what my response would be. Yet that night, he mentions it to me that it wouldn't hurt if we bought her a car. I tell him no, and my answer is final. Allison doesn't work, nor does she go to school. She dropped out of college her first year. College is not for everyone, I understand that. Her last car was wrecked due to her racing a friend. They were lucky to have walked away with minor injuries, but we were stuck with paying for damages to the house she ran into. My husband has been paying her rent and utilities faithfully for the last year and a half. It was supposed to only be for 6 months because she lost her job during virus. But she hasn't taken the initiative to seek employment. She's wrecked 3 vehicles since the age of 16, 2 of which we contributed to buying. I've pointed out to my husband that this is setting a bad example for our other children, simply because there's no repercussions for her actions. My husband funds her lifestyle down to the clothes she wears. He's retiring this year and will be on a fixed income, which means he will no longer be able to pay her bills. He can't afford to just go buy her a vehicle now due to his extra expenses on her. Neither he nor Allison's mother can afford to buy her another vehicle. When it comes to helping raise her, he nor Allison's mother really want my input. But when it's something she needs financially, they're open to everything I have to say as long as it's yes. He says I'm being unfair, that she's my responsibility just as much, and I told him that's only when it comes to money-wise, that because I'm financially well off and can't afford it, it shouldn't be a problem. As I told him, I work for our kids and our household, something he should also be concerned with instead of enabling a grown woman. We haven't talked in days, and I'm thinking maybe I should hear him out, because maybe I was harsh in my delivery. Edit. I failed to mention that the cars she gave her father as an option were a Corvette or a Range Rover. Not the a-hole at all, and I would absolutely refuse to contribute. This is about a pattern of them not being responsible, and nothing to do with you being the step-parent or being mean. It sounds like there are some deeper issues here with your spouse that need to be addressed, though. Hard not the a-hole. A Range Rover? I wish I would tell my parents that's the type of car I want them to buy me. She's wrecked 3 cars, doesn't have a job, isn't in school, and her dad pays for her rent. I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. Not the a-hole, for all of the reasons you listed, and the cars she wants are ridiculous. I hope you have a plan for when your husband retires and can't pay for his stepdaughter at all, or you're going to have a major conflict on your hands. So I, 27 male, am not well off by any means, but I make enough to sustain my life and pay my bills and such. My sister, 23 female, can barely hold down a job and lives with my parents. Recently, my sister called me and asked me if she could borrow $500 from me. I asked her what for, and she said she needed it to go partying with the girls. The last time I lent my sister money for something like this, she came home smashed, and my parents called me up and berated me for enabling her party girl behavior. Growing up, they've always blamed me for the mistakes my sister makes in life. I simply told my sister no, and when she asked why, I told her it was because of the reasons listed above. This prompted her to lose her minds, saying I'm a terrible brother, that I've never wanted to make her happy, and that I've always been a suck-up to my parents. Not true. Quite the opposite, actually. I just hung up on her, and because of this, she decided to tattle on me to my parents. They called me up and just told me to give her the money to get her to shut up. I told them the reason why I wouldn't, and now they're upset at me. So, did I mess up here? Edited to add. She never paid me back last time. I didn't really care since it wasn't a lot of money. I'm not entirely sure why she needs $500 specifically. My sister is a mystery to me sometimes. Not the a-hole. I hate to say it, but your sister is insanely manipulative. She clearly has a problem if she A. spending $500 on partying, B. willing to use that much of someone else's money to party, C. getting so upset because she potentially can't party. As someone who used to party too much and drink too much during her first year of university, she needs to see a counselor to get to the root of all of this. Please, OP, know that you are not responsible for someone else's happiness. People are responsible for their own happiness, though outside factors can influence it, but she shouldn't be getting her happiness from partying and using someone else's money to do it. What she did was manipulation when she didn't get what she wants. Not the a-hole. You got yelled at for giving her money, and yelled at for not giving her money. Might as well go with the option that lets you keep $500. Tell your parents to give her money. Your sister is a spoiled brat. Is it your fault? They berated you for giving her the money the last time, but wants you to give it to her this time. Dude, not your issue, and you're not the a-hole. Go no contact with them and recommend therapy because this is twisted. You are not responsible for supporting your sister's party lifestyle. Update. So, looking through the comments, I realized it was wrong of me to use my parents as the reason why I wouldn't give my sister money. I guess my intention was to say that I don't want to repeat my mistakes of enabling her, but the way I went about it wasn't the best. The day after the original post occurred, I called up my parents and told them that I was sorry, that I used them as the reason why I didn't want to give my sister money. They said in a smug tone, "Yeah, you should be." And then afterwards, I calmly told them that while I was sorry, I'm not going to give my sister money, because she doesn't need $500 to go partying, and if it was such a big deal, they can pay for her. I also told them that they also need to encourage her to get a job, as she can't be jobless for the rest of eternity. This set them off, saying that I'm ungrateful for everything that they've done for me, that I don't care about my family, and I'm selfish. I told them I do care, and that's why I'm telling them this. This didn't register with them, and they started screaming so loudly to the point the most I could make out was them calling me names. I just told them that we'd talk again when they calmed down and hung up on them. Later that night, my mom texted me and told me that if I don't help, my sister will remain a good-for-nothing waste of life and will probably need to seek out work in order to get by. I was honestly shocked by that. Like, I myself feel like my sister is a bit of a deadbeat, but I still loved her either way. The only thing I sent back was, "I'm sorry to hear that." Then I blocked her and my dad. My sister and I are sorting things out, and pretty well actually. She came over to my place the day after my parents contacted me, and we had a chat. She told me she was sorry for the way she acted, and that she wanted to make things better with me. We're slowly rebuilding our relationship. As for my parents, I've cut them out of my life because I now see what they really are. Despite having a good job, my brother is cheap. A few years ago, he bought a fixer-upper for a reduced price. It was a complete mess, but he moved in and said he would fix it up himself. The house needs more than a few repairs and some paint, and my brother has no renovation experience or skills. The house has no basement stairs. When the hot water tank broke, he couldn't find anyone to fix it because there was no way to get a person and their tools down the rickety ladder. He hasn't had hot water for over 2 years. None of the rooms have doors. The kitchen has no sink. Only one room is painted, and it looks like a 5-year-old did it, and the attic isn't sealed. He uses rainwater to shower and wash his clothes. He has an outhouse in his yard. The house has a functional shower and toilet, but even if he had hot water, he doesn't want to run up his bill. He reuses floss, and whatever food he doesn't grow himself, he gets from dumpsters outside restaurants or from the dollar store when it's close to expired. His wardrobe is falling apart because he won't buy new clothing. He refuses to buy an air conditioner, and we have many days when it's over 100 degrees and his house gets unbearable. He was engaged, but I don't think she realized the extent until they moved in together. She didn't want a huge white wedding, but my brother wanted to barter to get the license fee paid, and didn't want to spend anything on the wedding. His plan was to have a friend get ordained and get married in his yard, in clothes they already had, and not feed anyone. Just send them home after the vows. No photos besides cell phone ones taken by the guest. He wouldn't even entertain the idea of having a barbecue because he said it was too expensive. For her birthday, he got her dead flowers he stole from a funeral home, and takeout he got from a dumpster. They only lived together for 3 months before she left. Our parents say it isn't his fault, and his girlfriend wanted material things instead of loving him like he is. They are blaming her. When he complained to me, he expected me to agree. I said it's not materialistic to want to use electricity instead of flashlights, or use an indoor bathroom, or eat food that wasn't from a dumpster. I also said it was insulting to expect people to come to your wedding and act as unpaid photographers and not even feed them. I said the breakup was his fault, not hers. Now he's not talking to me, and our parents expect me to apologize for upsetting him. I refuse to apologize because I believe he is wrong, and they are enabling him. I don't think there is anything wrong with being frugal, but my brother is on a different planet. My parents won't stop insisting I am wrong for mistreating my brother. Should I have just agreed when he complained about the breakup? Tell me, was I wrong for giving an honest opinion? Not the a-hole. She's not materialistic. She wants common things like hot water and the ability to go into the basement or food that's not from the dumpster. That's unsafe and hazardous. Who would be okay with living like that? That's unacceptable. You're right, OP. Not the a-hole. There's cheap and thrifty, but this is something else. He needs help. Yep, there's a huge difference between being frugal, thrifty, and being miserly. Frugal is not willing to spend $100 for a t-shirt, but will go to a thrift store and pick up a good quality t-shirt, and occasionally splurge on something personal, i.e., an annual cruise, buying mostly affordable things without significantly compromising on quality and safety. Miserly is the brother who will do anything and everything to save a penny, like waiting until clothes become hole-ridden rags before buying a cheap and poor quality $3 t-shirt, and other things, despite significant inconvenience, and sacrificing personal comfort and safety. I have an uncle who I'm going to call Hal. Hal is 2 years younger than me, so we pretty much grew up together. Hal is a good guy, but when it comes to his wife Cindy, the entitled mom in this story, he simply has no backbone. They have a 6-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son. Almost a year ago, Cindy decided that they were going to go vegan. It wasn't a discussion, it was a declaration. Their house was going animal-free. Hal and the kids went along with it, no major protests, though Hal would still eat meat when he was not around her. This summer, they sent their son to camp for 8 weeks. While he's gone, they wanted to take some time and go away for a week by themselves, so they asked me to watch my little cousin for a week. I already have 6 of my own kids living here, so duck it. What's one more? Sure, she can stay the week. So they head off to somewhere in Florida, and I go about my babysitting duties. I understand and respect their dietary choices, and I have been providing my little cousin with 100% vegan meals. But yesterday, I posted a picture to Instagram of a black bear steak I made for myself. Well, Cindy calls me, flipping out, for cooking meat while her daughter is under my roof, accusing me of trying to convert her back to a meat eater. She then tells me, not asks me, not to make any more meat until they get back and take their daughter home. I told her that she was being ridiculous, and that while I was happy to feed her child vegan meals, I will not be told what I can and cannot eat in my own home. I'm making chicken fried venison with sausage gravy and biscuits for my girlfriend, kids, and myself for breakfast this morning. And I'm making my little cousin blackberry oatmeal and a just egg omelet with peppers, onions, and mushrooms. I'm gonna post a pic of our breakfast to IG and then turn my phone off, because I'm an a-hole now. She is welcome to fly home today and rescue Precious. Heck, that you even fed her vegan is above and beyond. Not the a-hole, obviously. It's already enormous of you to take in the kid and provide vegan meals when you're not vegan yourselves. That said, is an egg an animal product? Or is just egg an egg substitute I've never heard of? Not trying to be a jerk here, genuinely curious. You're correct. It's the name of a plant-based egg substitute. Be petty. That lady is off her rocker. Also, honestly, I do not think being a 100% vegan is safe for a kid, to be honest. Vegetarian, yes. Vegan, no.